Grew up in Littleton, so grew up in Colorado.
Yeah.
Back when everything was really getting started there from like a lay Catholic thing. So World Youth Day back in 93, 4?
I think it was 93.
In the 90s.
Pope John Paul II.
Yeah, John Paul II.
I always go with whatever Paul says.
Okay.
That's how we treat our guests.
That's
93.
not Latin, but I agree.
Yeah.
You could probably say it in Latin.
Novicesimus tres. That's like
Evis es plurum.
and that,
E pluribus unum.
That's what I meant.
Evasays, evasaysoffices.com.
Yes, sir. It's the BeatiDudes. Welcome to one of the most amazing things to ever happen to men. This is
I always like where you're going because we
too.
find out together.
Yeah.
We're all driving from the back seat of that one. This is the BeatiDudes. It's a show for Christian men walking together as we pursue holiness, but we never forget humorness, because that's part of having authentic fraternity, is knowing that the faith is serious, but we can be whatever. We can be goofy.
Popping our collars.
I just popped my collar. We got our BeatiDudes colored blue shirts on. We're getting ready for the National Eucharistic Congress. By the time you see this, maybe we're there.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we're there right now.
But also not right now on this episode,
you
just
ever-
to be clear.
I like when people say, "Are you recording live at the Congress?" And I'm like, "We actually record live every time we do it."
Because we're here.
There's a Dimitri Martin special called Dimitri Martin Live at the Time.
Nice.
That's exactly right. Well, my name's Jeff Shufflebine. I am joined by the best Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonator this side of Saturn, Paul Kolker,
Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah.
and the second best ever, Nick Besner.
Way to put him on.
Yeah.
Way to go for it, man. I love it.
Nailed it.
Oh, I love it. And we just got a great show for you today. As always, the BeatiDudes is such a big deal, and also so sure of ourselves that we only do in-person guests, so people who fly in town, when they're lucky enough to make it through the Vatican Valley, can get all the way back to Amen Corner and end up at the BeatiDudes studio here at Lucid Private Offices.
Every time. Every time.
That's amazing. It's
Lucid
truly
Private
amazing.
Offices dot com.
Got it.
.com. So if you can figure out how to spell that, it's a great website to check out.
Private office suites for drunk people.
No, everybody, we're sober.
Lucid private offices.
Unless Jeff had something at lunch.
Slow it down.
Red leather, yellow leather.
I mean, literally, I'm going to give this as a tongue twister to people.
There you go. Lucid Private Offices.
.com.
Yep.
That's where we are. And today's guest flew in from actually my birthplace. My birthplace. We know this now. I shared it on a previous show, Fairfax County Hospital.
That's right.
Yeah. So I miss it.
You came straight from the hospital.
It's a beautiful place.
He lives there, yeah.
Yeah, underneath one of the bed. Yeah, floor 2. It's a great floor.
Okay, good. Good. Love that.
No, from Virginia, just outside of the place, D.C., is Mitch Boersma
Nailed it.
here to join us. And Mitch, welcome to the show, man.
It is good to be here. Like I was telling you before we started, like I've been on a BeatiDudes bender the last couple weeks, getting to hear all the stories, and happy to be here. So thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Do you go into the bender because you're trying to brace yourself, you're trying to prep yourself, you're trying to figure out should you cancel the flight?
Yeah, it was mostly a cancellation, but I mean it was fun. I got a bunch of buddies who have done the show before, but you guys got stories out of them that I've never heard, so it was fun to hear some of
cool.
those and be
That's
connected.
awesome.
Yeah.
Tell us a connection maybe to a guest or two. I want to, because we're just now getting connected to you here, and you forgot the blue shirt memo. That
I know.
The memo we never sent.
You don't have a custom-made BeatiDudes polo
Well,
that's not yet available for sale.
by the time this comes out, maybe it'll be on the store.
Yeah, there we go.
I
There
know.
we go.
No, so how do you?
Well, yeah, like one of the most recent ones I listened to was Mr. Rowicki. I mean, those are incredible stories. His son, Bennett, who I think you know, Bennett, yeah, he was my college roommate over at University of Dallas. So
Did
I
you play
knew-
soccer?
I did play soccer. I went over and
Nice.
saw the coach right before this just to go tell him I was still alive and that I'm still not donating any money to the program.
What? Who is better between you and Bennett Rawicki at soccer?
Bennett's better than everyone at everything. So he's definitely better than me at soccer, that's for sure. Yeah.
I watched this guy play one-footed soccer against all the kids and win,
Yes.
where he hops on one foot, kicking the ball,
What?
and the other one's just out there like
Dangling.
Wait, one more time.
Boy, he does have a bell on it. It's kind of weird.
What kind of game is this?
So you knew Bennett, but you didn't know.
I didn't know any of those stories about his dad
Yeah.
and the whole story, and so I texted him and said,
Grandpa,
"Hey, I'm
yeah.
going on the BeatiDudes," and I was listening to those stories. Like, that's what an
Yeah, no
incredible
kidding.
set of stories. Holy cow!
Yeah, when people think that this show is just about fun, it's actually that's just a setup so we can nail you with things that are of high importance.
Well,
Thank you for finishing that sentence.
Yeah, no.
You said you were going to be in for a real treat, and now, sorry, I'm going to only disappoint. Yes.
Yep, it's all gotcha questions from here on out. No, but I mean the fraternity though, right? The idea is
Yeah.
like, let's put people at ease,
Yep.
and then the hope is that we really get to know each other in the process, and stories like that surface. It's pretty
right.
cool.
Amazing,
Pretty cool.
amazing stuff.
How'd you went to the University of Dallas? Where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Littleton, so grew up in Colorado.
Yeah.
Back when everything was really getting started there, from like a lay Catholic thing. So World Youth Day back in '93, 4.
I think it was 93.
In the
Pope,
90s.
Pope John Paul II.
Yeah, John Paul II.
I always go with whatever Paul says.
Okay.
That's how we treat
This
our
is why.
guests.
That's
93.
not Latin, but I agree.
Yeah.
You could probably say it in Latin.
Novicesimus tres. That's like
Evis es plurum.
and that,
E pluribus unum.
That's what I meant.
Evasays, evasaysoffices.com.
Nice.
All right. Anyway, so 93.
Mitch.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's. We do this for like the first 10 minutes or so.
Then the show starts.
Yeah, then we'll actually let you get a word in.
Turn on the mics and
Yeah.
go. Yeah. Okay.
No, okay. So 93 World Youth Day. You got to experience that. You're saying?
No, I was 6, but it was the beginning of a big
Yeah.
lay Catholic movement that came out of Denver.
Yeah.
I was really well formed at the parish I was at with all of people who had experience in lay Catholic leadership,
Yeah.
and so it gave me some inspiration to go start to think about doing that into my career. So Denver's a great place to be from. Go back there and visit. A lot of good folks out there.
Awesome.
Is it Archbishop Chaput who's out there? or-
Chaput was there.
Was there.
Now, yeah. So then he went to Philadelphia. Now he's since retired. But,
gosh, yeah, time
but
flies.
Time flies.
And
But
so coming out of UD, you go into do what?
yeah, so I mean, when I went to University of Dallas, I went thinking I was going to be a theology major. Started out as a theology major, and then every day my mom called asking me what I was going to do with a theology degree, and every day I didn't have a good answer. And then it was either the second semester or second year I took my first Latin class,
Oh no.
and then I all of a sudden realized I did not want to be a theology major, so bailed right out of that and went into business. So I became a business major, finished up there at the University of Dallas, thinking I was going to do, PR or go do something like that, and took a internship here in Dallas at Richards. Is it?
Yeah.
Richards
Yeah.
Partner. Yeah,
Yeah.
which was
No.
a ton of fun. I mean, that place was on the cutting edge of. They were doing, I think, Chick-fil-A and Zales and stuff at the
Yeah.
time, and I was doing this internship there. They were doing HR for the American Health Association, and I remember very distinctly. I was interning on the back bench. They were mapping out, okay, how are we going to get more PR for this 5K on this children's hospital thing? And everyone was really into it, and I was really not into it. I've made like a huge mistake, so maybe I don't want to go do business. So that was like the last day of college. So I ended up taking an internship in D.C. at a think tank, thinking it'd be a 6-week thing, and then I'd go back to Denver, and then never left. So, so and then just
Tale as old as time.
I know, and then the whole D.C. world got me pulled in. It's been a really great place to be ever
Cool.
since. Yeah.
3 things you love about DC for those of us who don't have anything.
So it is really Catholic in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. I mean, it really is a hub of Catholic life. It is a place that's got really strong feedback mechanisms for strong opinions, which is unlike other cities. Like if you're really Catholic or really not, you can find a job, you can find friends, you can find your people. But I mean, it has been a real benefit in D.C. and in Northern Virginia to find people who are really serious about their faith, who really want to go out there and make a difference. And so that has been encouraging because in a lot of ways it's also a big swamp. But it's also the place where I met my wife, so I'm happy that I found her there. She's a UD grad as well, but we met out in D.C.
You didn't know each other in college.
No, I'm sure we passed in the beer fridge. I mean, it's a small enough school, and I knew her younger brother pretty well, but it was groups of, I was in a group of guys living in a house, there were a group of girls down the street, and ended up dating and
when you said the beer fridge, am I to believe there's just one walk-in cooler at UD where
There's
people
a
Am I to
single UD
believe?
beer fridge.
Am I
Yes,
to
no,
believe
yeah,
this?
Jeff
it is
went and looked up.
the company fridge. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
No.
cool.
Incredible. Okay, think tank. That's most people go to college to go join a think tank.
Yeah. The Ethics and Public Policy Center is the place that I took that first internship.
Nice.
I had no business being there. I was working for a Journal of Technology and Society, and I didn't know anything about tech, but they had the managing editor at the time had heard of UD, wanted a Catholic in there, so I got started there, again thinking I would leave, and then ended up going over to another think tank down the street called the American Enterprise Institute, working for a philosopher, theologian named Michael Novak there for 5 or 6 years, wishing all of a sudden I had that theology degree. But that went really well. He was a great mentor. He ended up retiring and going down to Ave Maria. I spent some time ghostwriting in town for other scholars. Went back to the Catholic University of America thinking I'll go get that theology degree after all. Got a master's degree and thought I was going to do the PhD, and was in a room with a bunch of people who were going to get their PhDs, who were really smart and really into it. And again, I really wasn't.
And they were all speaking Latin.
And they were all speaking Latin.
Yeah.
And they were all ready to take jobs in the middle of Kansas City because they loved it so much and they just wanted to be theologians. And I realized I'd made another terrible decision. And so the day I got the master's degree, I didn't know what I was going to do. I got offered the opportunity to apply for a job at a place called the Catholic Information Center, which is in the hub of D.C. We're on 15th and K, about a block from the White House. Took a job there and have been there ever since, doing the CIC and then founding this Leonine Forum program.
We're about to jump into the forum, the Leonine Forum.
Leonine.
Leonine.
He shall be Leonine. That was for you, Jim.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind the singing. It was the way you were staring at me like that.
How did you know our national anthem?
That's it. Well, he said Leon Center, so I just was,
Yeah.
I was Leoning and into it.
Leoning.
Leaning on into it.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Okay. You have a good discernment of spirits. If you don't want to be there, you leave.
Get going. Yeah.
This
don't
doesn't
waste any
seem
time.
very good for me. Okay, bye.
Again, yeah.
Wow.
So I'm
And
great
then-
at my second decisions. Yes, the first decisions tend to be terrible, but the second ones are better.
That's
You make up for it.
pretty
Yeah.
quick turnaround.
Uh-huh.
Some people just lean into that first one, and just keep going.
That's right.
Yeah.
Leonine in the first one.
I actually
I
didn't
see
mean
what you did there.
I didn't mean
I
that
see
one.
what you did there.
Yeah, it's bold. And I also find people that are close to PhD then decide if that's not the track they go on the BeatiDudes. It's like we're like the Latin of education.
Yes, we've been told that at least once today.
Okay, CIC does what?
So the CIC is, like I said, it's a Catholic.
When you say "like I said,"
like
did
I said,
miss something?
no. I'm sorry. Like I was trying to say before I interrupted myself. It is a hub of Catholic intellectual and spiritual life in D.C. It was founded there 60 years, primarily as a bookstore. That was the business model, was to be $1 million bookstore in the center of town, and then have mass and book events and spiritual direction. When I was hired there, it was because the bookstore model had failed. They had stopped selling books, but it's still a worthwhile place to have a presence for the church. If it's important for all these lawyers to be on K Street and for McDonald's to be on K Street, it's important for Jesus to be on K Street, but only if we're using that space well to gather young Catholics. And so,
For sure.
yeah, so that is where we spend our time. We're a block away from the White House, in the belly of the beast, but really serve Catholic professionals in the center of town.
Wow.
And so I'm a Catholic professional in D.C. I go there. I get formation.
Yeah.
I get resources. I get
All
community.
all the above. So again, a robust series of events that we do throughout the year. There's mass every day at noon. There's confession before and after. It's probably the youngest average-aged attended mass in town, so
Sure.
about 40 or 50 a day, and the average age is probably about 40. So people who are really serious about living out their faith and finding ways to integrate it
Very cool.
into their professional
That's
life.
beautiful.
Yeah, so it's been a real blessing to be at the center of all that, from a public policy experience and business and getting to live out my faith. Couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, no kidding.
When Nick asked his question, I thought people go there for formation and immunity. Like
Community.
you sprint to the
Community.
Catholic Information Center. Help me. I caught it. It's community.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we need to go into like the you were wearing a polo, maybe it wasn't, but you had a business card when we met you last about this Leonine Forum. What are we even talking about?
Yeah. So the Leonine Forum, after we set everything in place with the CIC, and we knew that it was informally this place where young Catholics were coming a lot, we were experiencing there that a lot of these people in D.C., high flyers, serious about their faith, serious about their professions, but still had no idea what the church had to offer in terms of Catholic social teaching, right? Like the church has been thinking about these tough issues for 2,000 years, how it can apply into their professional life, into their civic life. And then we also were spending time with each of them saying, well, you got to know this one, and you guys are both lawyers and don't know that you're Catholic, and you should know, this person over here on the Hill. So doing all of these informal connections, and it was like, this would be a lot easier if you were all just in the room at the same time to make those connections. And then to start to build that pipeline vertically. There are people who hang out at the CIC, integrating their faith into their profession at the highest levels in terms of, at law firms, on the Hill, in the public policy world, and we wanted to start to build out that pipeline of virtuous leaders. So the Leonine Forum was born out as a program of the CIC to do those things initially just in D.C., but that's where it was born out of.
I love that, though, because we know that in the amendments that we have the right to freedom of religion, but a lot of times these days you hear people try to repackage that as just like freedom of worship, as if you can just kind of do your own thing separately, but please don't bring that into the public space. And you're saying, well, no. First of all, the Catholic Church teaches that we have a duty to engage the civic society and get in there and bring all of these great insights and wisdom from the faith that have filtered down over the centuries. That's really, because our country's very young compared to the life of the church. So
that's right. That's right. Yeah. So that was the project. So we started this program. We invited in 30 fellows to come in for a deep year of formation. We have a curriculum that we put them through in that first year of their fellowship. It got very popular in D.C. with classes each year. And then back in 2017, we spun it off into a separate 501c3, thinking that, we could do this sort of thing in other cities, that we could go to cities with high concentrations of young professionals working, serious with their faith, but working in industries of outsized influence of society and culture. We really think of it as an organization that is built for Catholic professionals, not professional Catholics. Like, I'm a professional Catholic, Father so-and-so is really a professional Catholic, but this thing is designed for the people who want to go out and live their faith well as emerging leaders in the professional sector. But that we could then go do that not only in law and public policy in D.C., but hey, maybe we could start to build these pipelines in finance, in journalism, and healthcare. So that inspired us to start going to other cities. So we've spun off into New York. We were there in 2017 and have chapters now in Chicago and L.A., and have been building that out for the last 11 years to make sure that we've got a robust network of Leonine alumni that are committed to not just that core formation, but to staying connected into this network and finding ways to build each other up in virtuous leadership as they kind of enter the next stage of their careers.
I love how you snuck the name, too, into one of my favorite 80s pop songs, 8675 Leonine.
That was the best one yet.
Thank you.
And do you have you mentioned kind of like by career, by track, or by industry? Is that kind of how you work inside of Leonine, or is it really city-based? And, if you happen to be finance in the same city, then we'll connect in that.
Yeah, I mean, at the core, we exist to serve this really cultivated group of leaders, that we serve them. They span every sort of profession. Each city looks like the city, right? So in D.C., it's very law and public policy-based.
Yep.
In the other cities, it's finance and healthcare and education. But we exist not really to, fix Washington, because ain't nobody fixing Washington, but to really form and mentor these young leaders.
Awesome.
And the name?
Leonine.
No, but where does it come from?
Leonine comes from two Leos, Pope Leo the Great, who convinced Attila the Hun not to sack Rome through a careful conversation. We think that's a nice model for us to use. And then also Leo the 13th, who is the originator of Catholic social teaching and the new evangelization.
Rerum Novarum.
Rerum Novarum, that's right. And frankly, we didn't want to call it the St. John Paul II Fellowship for really Catholic young professionals, not only because it didn't fit on a business card, but part of the idea of Leonine is that these fellows are out there in the world, that being a Leonine fellow means something, that it's something they can carry on their resumes. If you know what Leonine is, it means something to you. If you don't know what Leonine is, it doesn't matter to you. And so these fellows can carry that with pride throughout their professional career. knowing that it's something that means something for them.
And is the 9 in between the great and the 13th? Is it like the average?
Yeah, just kind of Leo the fine. Yeah.
Nice.
I can do math.
Geography.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got
no,
it.
that's
That was good.
Leonine Forum, take my hand and we'll make it, I swear.
What, did you just
Leonine Forum. I thought we were just going to keep going.
cram that into living on a prayer?
Nope.
Push it in. There we go.
It fits.
It was all right.
Oh, my goodness. So what's happening in Dallas, Texas?
So this is the next place we want to come, that we have not expanded in the last 4 years. We've really made sure that we've got the alumni piece
You're
ready.
here for BeatiDudes approval.
But I'm here for BeatiDudes approval to try to figure out. It was an excuse to come back to my alma mater, but I mean, Dallas is, I don't have to tell you guys, you live here. I mean, an incredible city
It
that's
is.
growing, and we think that it's where the future of the church is, and especially lay leaders, and we want to be here helping out however we can.
It would be sacrilegious, though, if we gave you an Oprah Mater for coming here. Right? We can't do that.
Imprimatur.
That's somebody else. I'm saying what we do at the BeatiDudes.
we do the Oprah Mater.
We got an Oprah Mater. Mater's Italian? Oh, yeah, well, that already is, of course.
of course
Oprah's
it is.
not. I was thinking like,
not. Oprah's Italian. It's a me, Oprah.
wait, where does Boersma come from? Boersma.
Boersma is Dutch. Boersma's Dutch. It's from.
Do you know anything about Dutch?
I know no Dutch. I know no freaky deaky Dutch.
He only pays for himself on dates, though.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah, it's Frisian. Friesland is the tallest little province in the top of the Netherlands. The tallest people in the world come from Friesland. I've got cousins that are 6'6", 300 pounds, and I got none of those genes. So I got the Portuguese side. But yes, it's a Dutch name that means farmer.
What are your favorite Mitches in history? This is such a random question.
Favorite Mitches. Well, there's Mitch altogether, Mitch Hedberg. So
My
I get
brother, this is exactly what I was hoping you were
there we
going.
go. I got the Mitch and Mitch all together.
Greatest comedian of all time.
He was.
Oh my goodness.
He was.
I do not have a girlfriend. I just know a girl who'd be really upset if she heard me say that.
You know, I sat on the front row of one of his shows, and when it started off, somebody heckled him, and he looked at me and he goes, "What did he just say?" And I go, "He said 5." He goes, "Why?" I go, "I don't know. He just said the number 5." And he goes, "5 is messed up." And he started telling a joke about 5. Well, he gets like halfway through his set, and he goes, "Hey, man, what else?" And I go, "Pringles?" And he goes, "I think the original intention of Pringles was to make tennis balls." And I was like, "Oh gosh, I'm feeding Mitch's jokes. This is amazing."
Oh, gosh, he was the best, man. He was so good.
Oh, well, you named another Mitch before the show that I thought was pretty good. He was a character Mitch from Road Trip.
Oh, Mitch. Oh, yeah.
Well, no, Mitch was the snake.
No, Mitch was the snake. Mitch was the snake. There we go. Yes, but no, I've been getting Unleash the Fury Mitch for
Mitchy,
my
Mitchy.
entire. Yes, yeah.
Oh, you know who else is a Mitch? Dazed and Confused.
Oh, that's right.
Be a lot
That's
cooler
right.
if you did.
That's right.
That guy's not Mitch, but it's the
Oh,
same
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Mitch
Okay.
is the high school freshman pitcher.
That's right.
Mitch Kramer.
Uh huh.
Yeah. All right.
Not
anyways.
a lot of Mitches
been
out there.
Too long since I watched that in 5th grade.
Well, that'll.
Well, I think if you add up the numbers, like 40% of our audience is going to get all of those references. So just based on the
Right
stats.
in the demographic.
That's a
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good
Yeah,
percentage.
that's a good chunk. Yeah.
Pretty good.
You're really losing the voice there, Jeffrey.
That's Mitch. Mitch Head. There's another Mitch from Arrested Development. Isn't the showrunner a Mitch? I don't know. Anyway,
That's
knows?
when we don't know something.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's play a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that game?
I love this game.
Blessed are the Joke Makers.
I've heard of it.
For they shall inherit the 87 points, born in 87.
86.
86.
There we go.
We
You
just lose
were
a point?
6 at
Right.
93. Yeah.
I'm the scorekeeper, right?
You
Or
are.
I get-
You're the
I'm the
judge.
point- I'm the
You're the
points
judge, the
distributor.
jury, the
Executioner.
award.
Beautiful.
Yes. So we have a card that gives us our character and a Catholic card game card, and we have to answer the Catholic card game card as this character.
For 86 points.
That's it. And you just get to decide which one you like the most. So it's purely you are the king of this game in this moment. You just get to award the points. And the character we all have to become is an ultimate foodie. So as an ultimate foodie, Catechism number 2866 talks about blank.
Oh, yes. The Catechism 2866 talks about the amazing food that only us here in Talsma can possibly reach because we're so dang tall in the tallest place in the Swiss Alps.
Did not quite nail
I don't know
that.
where he's from. I don't know where Dutch is.
Dutch.
Where's
is
Dutch?
The Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Where's the Dutch?
So close to the Swiss Alps, truly. I mean, so close. You could have picked many mountain ranges that are much farther away.
He's
So that
never
was,
been this tall. When
that
I
was-
got into character,
that was pretty good.
That guy, the air is thin up there.
Felt tall. He sounded so tall.
Method acting.
Sounded tall.
As the ultimate foodie, of course, Catechism 2866 talks about how you must eat European style and never switch between, fork in your left hand, knife in your right, but the proper way to eat so as not to get found out in a World War II spy situation.
I have a prediction right now. Paul has had enough time to drop in Leonine in the middle of it and work it all together, and we're all going to be like, how'd he do it? And it's going to be because he went deep into the recesses of his creative brain. Ready, Paul?
Right, yeah. So as the ultimate foodie, Catechism number 2866 really talks about the ratios of the pixels that you want for being able to post pictures of your food to Instagram. So like, I see what somebody puts there. CIC.
I got it.
And what you need is you need to have a certain depth, right? So it's like 8 by Leonine is what you want on your picture, and that is what would fit on your gram.
And does that make 2866 pixels?
Pixels. Yep, that's it.
When you multiply those numbers, he does that math.
Oh gosh, Mitch, what do you think, buddy?
I like the Leonine stuff, but I think I got to give it to Jeff for being there with the Dutch. So all 86 points.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Right there.
The other name for what I just did is called the air up there because I went straight method acting. I felt like we were related there for about 30 seconds.
Felt right.
And I mean, I was just. Anyways, thank you for being such an amazing man. For doing that, for being amazing. You're gonna also get some socks from sockreligious.com. Saint Veronica, for some reason. That's what we pulled out of the sock drawer.
Nice.
We just unveiled those.
Nice. And with her being the patron saint of laundry workers, I thought this would be a good time to clean up the city of D.C.
I know you guys are sock religious guys. I got something for you guys.
What?
Yeah,
I was
because
gonna say, he's reaching
Yeah.
for something back here. I don't
You
know.
did binge
He's
on
like,
the show.
He's like, wait a second.
Their love
I got
language is
something for
free
you.
stuff.
These are
Yes.
sock religious socks.
What?
These are sock religious socks you cannot buy. They were made by Sock Religious, but these are Saint Jose Maria Escrivá socks we sell at the CIC. At the bottom there it says a saint is a sinner who keeps trying with Saint Jose Maria Escrivá, but those are for you guys. Can't buy them.
awesome.
Can't buy 'em. You just gotta get 'em.
Wow.
Wow, he's been showing up in my life a lot recently.
Well,
so
there you go.
That's pretty
We've
cool.
got the first version of our CIC socks we made, which I'm not wearing them, but the motto of the CIC is that we are the soul of Washington in the heart of the city. So you can believe I took the one opportunity as a dad joke to put on the bottom of that sock. It is the soul of Washington in the heart of the city.
Yep.
Love
So we
it.
gave those out. But yeah, this was the next
Awesome.
generation. But those are for you guys.
So
Thank
cool.
you.
We love the
Thank
sock
you.
religious guys.
You just hit a
They're the
grand
best.
slam on the show.
Those are-
Okay, and for the rest of you, we'll see you after the commercial break.
The team at Aquinas Wealth Advisors believes that good values and good returns are not mutually exclusive. Using a tech-smart and morally sound approach, they provide investment alternatives that align with Catholic teachings without sacrificing returns. These days, faith-driven investors are finding it hard to know where their money is going. They have no visibility into what their dollars are supporting, but there's a better way. Thanks to the Faith and Finance Score from Aquinas Wealth Advisors, you can look into your current holdings to see what you're supporting and make a switch to an advisor that aligns with your values and gives power to your voice. Check out AquinasWealth.com today.
Hey BeatiDudes, it's Jeff here. When Nick and I set out and we started this company, Undivided Life, we decided to not use traditional healthcare, but we went with Solidarity HealthShare because we thought it was an affordable, and ethical alternative that match the needs of our business and our growing families. Since then, my family put solidarity to the test. We've had pregnancies, babies, emergency room visits, even a brain surgery for one of my children, and Solidarity has been an incredible partner and has also had the cost and the ethical approach that we love. Here's a link for you to go check it out. learnmore.solidarityhealthshare.org/BeatiDudes. This is your chance to be in solidarity with the Scheffelbein family.
Hi, it's Paul Kolker from the BeatiDudes here, and I just wanted to share with you guys that I also, outside of the show, perform improv comedy on a regular basis with a group called Divine Comedy. So what we do is we come up with everything on the spot, so whether you're looking for faith-filled, fun, family-friendly comedy for your youth night, or whether you're looking for clean comedy for your corporate event, Divine Comedy can perform for your group and even get you in on the action. So if you'd like to hire us to come out and perform for your next event, check out DivineComedyImprov.com. Divine Comedy, an inferno of fun.
Stop what you're doing and listen to the BeatiDudes.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Mitch Boersma, and man, he outsocked us. Unbelievable. No, we really appreciate the gift. I want to ask one question that popped up for me just looking at your website and getting connected to you. As you are in the different cities going out there, obviously we know and are connected to Young Catholic Professionals who's here in town. How do you think about, working alongside them, with them, in partnership, or not, or how does that really kind of?
Yeah, I mean, we do, and just talking to Peter here in Vatican Valley, right? YCP is such a wonderful organization. The way Leonine kind of ties into what they're doing is, Peter was talking to us about YCP being the top end of the funnel in terms of a way to bring people back into the faith to have that first experience as they're coming out of college. And then the Leonine provides an opportunity for people who want to go deeper into formation.
That was my guess.
So they come down the funnel to us to start to enter into a deeper formation program,
it sounds like
deeper network.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that. It sounds like it's like a year-long thing.
Yeah. So once you kind of are accepted into the Leonine Forum program, there's an application process, but you do a first-year fellowship, which is a series of, it's a curriculum that is once a month over the course of a year.
Cool.
And it's built off a series of truth claims about what it means to flourish as a human person.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a session on the human person is created to know, and that's on the faith and reason. The human person is made in the image of God. That's Christian anthropology. We do a night on charity and truth, justice and mercy, the principles of Catholic social teaching. So the first half are all of these kind of foundational questions. And then the second half of the curriculum is how it applies into the professional life. A night on public bioethics, a night on integral ecology, poverty, the vocation of work. So to give them a broad sense of what the church has to offer and how it can apply into their professional life, but with a pretty deep opportunity to read and learn with their peers.
Cool.
Just listening to you, I think that my takeaway would be that Boersma is excitesma.
I don't know if that's a compliment.
It definitely is. I'll translate. Yes. He's excited about the things that you're working on.
About
more.
I couldn't say Boersma excitesma because that sounds really weird. I didn't say that.
But then you just did.
But you just did, so we got it covered.
It's like you're doing what, 30-ish people a year?
Yeah,
in
so
each
there's
city,
about 30 or
like
40
that
that come in each city.
How do we add a zero to that?
I know. Well, I mean, we've thought about it because in the other cities, it's really, in D.C. and New York, there are usually 100 or plus people who apply to the program, but we want this group to really know each other, to build those relationships. So we intentionally have been very slow in how we grow it, so that we know this. Now there are 1,000 fellows around the country, and we know them all by name, and they're really turned on for the faith and serious about it, and so it's a really, really powerful group of people that we've put together.
So when you say it's a program, what's the breakdown on that? Like number of meetings per month, or select readings or things like that?
Yeah,
how does that work?
that first year fellowship is this once a month thing.
Okay.
It's a serious curriculum. They get 60 pages or so of reading each month. That is primary documents. And so that's the major commitment you make when you come into the Leonine Forum. But then after that first year, we have a whole host of alumni activities and events to continue to keep them connected. So we do a big annual conference. They come together in the cities for big events. But the point of this thing is not to just come in for a year, learn some cool things, and go away, but to buy into this thing over the course of your entire career, so that we
That's
have this kind of
awesome.
generational solution.
That's beautiful. Yeah, really infuse the faith
That's right.
into the work and life of these individuals.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I've seen a network grow like that I've been part of from Texas A&M. It's just grown, and now it's about 1,000 people,
Yep.
similar kind of thing. And it's just like you meet somebody else, or they reach out to you, and you're like, "Hey, I'm in the same thing." And you're like, "Yeah, I'll take your call. I'll take." It's just an instant like brotherhood, fraternity.
That's it. Yeah, that's precisely the
Um,
idea.
Yeah, it's awesome.
They read 60 pages a month-ish, and now it dovetails
supposed
nicely into our TBD question of the day for all four of us.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
What are you reading these days?
Sure.
What's in your hands when you're reading?
Yeah, I'll hop in. I've been reading Unreasonable Hospitality, recommended by our
Andres.
friend. A couple of them, yeah. And
Yeah.
Jim Keys, I think, maybe
Oh,
as
it was
well.
Jim
yeah.
Keys. No,
Yeah,
that's who it was.
yeah.
You're right. You're right.
No, they both did. I
Yeah,
think
no, I think we've gotten it a couple times.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and then somebody else, it popped into my, and I just like, all right, this
It's
is
time.
Yep, click, buy now. And I'm about 100 pages in. It's pretty awesome. Lots of, it's really focused on a restaurant, kind of elevating fine dining and taking your own spin on it, but it's applicable across all facets of life
Sweet.
and how to treat people, how to grow them, how to invest in them, to create something that's bigger than themselves.
Yeah.
Very good.
Really cool.
a lot of surprise and delight type stuff in there too, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
And even just getting reading last night, it was like getting into the specifics of like most restaurants have a wine person that also does all other drinks, and like the best restaurant in New York, and you go and it finishes with like a normal cup of coffee. You're like, oh, that's kind of a blah, like letdown. So like they took this approach of like, all right, newcomer, you're 22, you're right out of college, like you're gonna own coffee. And you let them fail and you let them make mistakes, but you give them like guide rails and budget and whatever. And by the end, you have this like amazing coffee experience at the end of your meal, so that it's not just a normal cup of coffee.
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
What you reading, Mitch?
I've been on a major F1 kick for the last 3 years, and so now I'm reading this book, How to Build a Car, by Adrian Newey.
Cool.
He's like the ultimate F1 car builder. And
Drive
so
to Survive, get you into
exactly,
it. Yeah.
that was the gateway drug
Yeah,
for me. But
sure.
I'm bought in on this. But anyway, he's the best guy who's ever built cars, and so it's
Cool.
been a good way to learn about the history
How
of
to build a car.
F1. And he's a super brainiac guy. But it's been a fun read.
That's interesting.
He's the man.
So I have a friend who will post some of the stuff he's reading on Twitter, and I love just seeing whatever quotes and stuff he puts out there from those books. So I took a deep dive into a book that I might not have otherwise gone towards because of this, but it's called Desire, Deceit, and the Novel by Rene Girard, who I think has a Catholic background. I forget exactly what his story is, but French guy talking about various authors largely from France, and but some Spanish authors. So talking about Don Quixote and some of these really classic novels, but then talking about how each of these authors describes what he calls a triangle, where basically you have one person who wants what somebody else has, but only because they have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all the mimetic desire.
Yes,
sort of
mimetic
stuff.
desire.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
exactly.
fascinating
Is
stuff.
one. So, and then just the way that the closer they get, the more it turns that person into a rival versus just an example. And then you want to overcome the rival because I think the quote in the book is he points the way to heaven, but simultaneously bars entry.
Okay.
So just the idea that he's got what you want, and you see that it's the good, you see that it's heaven, quote unquote. But then because he's the only one who can have it, he's basically blocking you from having it, and that creates a lot of the problems in the book. But I feel like it just applies to so many things in life in general and in society and some of the cultural craziness. It's like, oh, well, let's envy this and let's, I want what that person has versus just, hey, how do we come together and work together as a group?
Yeah, there's a guy, Luke Burgess. If you haven't heard of him, you should.
CUA?
Yep, CUA guy, but he's doing a lot of this stuff on mimetic desire.
Oh, okay.
And how it applies particularly both as an entrepreneur, but as a Catholic, he's thinking about it a lot. So I forget the name of his new book, but he's thinking about that stuff a lot. And
I'll
it's
look
fascinating.
it up. Yeah.
Two funny things to recall here. At first, I thought you were going to say you've been reading a lot of Twitter, like that's what's on your bookshelf lately. You went really deep after that. And then I tried to imagine, so Paul has this uberly well-known podcast where he reads children's books and uses all of his voices. I want you to read that book using all your voices. All right, kids, sit down for 16 hours.
This is Desire, Deceit, and the Novel.
It's awesome. The book I'm reading is The 33 Days to Divine Mercy. It's just a 33-day consecration. My wife and I and several other people read it on every day that my son actually has his radiation treatments, which is 33 treatments. So there are 6 left to go. What's wild, and I walked into Nick's office and showed this to him, the very first paragraph, first sentence starts talking about a BeatiDudes guest, Father Chris Alar.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because it's a different priest from that order that wrote the book.
Yep.
But he says, I knew when Father Chris Alar walked in my office. I'm like, what am I reading? Like this, I didn't pick this because of this, but he's, he's a BeatiDude.
All things divine mercy. That's Father Chris.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure, for
awesome.
sure. So, hey, that was fun. Thanks. I'm going to go probably think about the things y'all read.
Yes.
Love it.
I'm a big thinker about reading.
Well, you could be a part of a think tank.
That's right.
There you go.
I know. I have this new
I
guy,
can do some
Jeff.
ghost thinking.
Yeah. Ghost thinking. That's awesome.
That's the only remote
Does
work
anybody
I'm
wanna-
willing to
Does
do.
anyone want to pay me for that?
Big time ghost thinker.
Big time. So we always do. First of all, before we jump into this, how do we find Leonine Forum? What's the easiest way to get it online?
LeonineForum.org is the quickest way to see.
LEONINE.
Yep, that's it. LeonineForum.org, and then everything we're doing at the CIC is CICDC.org. But all of our events we put online, and so it's a great way to both get a taste for those who are not in DC, kind of like the Catholic Washington scene.
And the chapters are Washington, New York, Chicago, and LA.
Chicago and LA. So the application season is open for all 4 of those right now, and we're hoping to launch a chapter here in Dallas in the next year. So we're doing the legwork now.
I know a good place for you to host meetings. Lucid.
Private
offices.
offices.
Sis.
As long as I put on an
Offices.
accent, I'll nail it. All right, this is going to be a very weird reverse Simpsons. Get out your phones,
Oh,
everybody.
okay.
All right.
Don't do anything with it yet. So we're going to do, Paul's better at this than all of us. Let's just be clear. One of
Wait,
us is
what?
a professional. It has to do with texting.
Oh, okay.
You're a professional. No,
I am?
this is about
Professional
improv. I'm going to come up with a topic by just opening the catechism.
Okay.
So first, let me just do that, okay? In fact, pick a number between 1194 and 1199.
1197.
Yep. We're going to be talking about the temple, the true temple.
Okay.
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 And this is just going to be an open conversation between 4 guys on a podcast. That's who the characters we're playing.
Okay.
Gosh, that's not good. There needs to be characters for this. We're 4 guys on a mountain.
Yep.
We're all from different countries.
Yep.
We're trying to summit this thing. We're talking about the true temple. But you have to find a way to work in. Get your phone out.
Got it.
I want you to open up your text messages to where it's like everybody. I want you to press down scroll twice and then just stop without looking.
Okay.
And then open a text message without looking and don't share anything about it. And you have to find a way to work in the very bottom thing that's written, whether it was you that wrote it or somebody else.
Okay.
So you have a line right
This is
now.
great.
And we are 4 hikers from
Okay.
different countries.
Sehr gut. I will be German.
Happy to be here.
This is another tall Netherlander, Niederlander from Dutch.
I was going like Asian penguin.
What?
Asian
Cartoons.
From cartoons. Oh my God. If you're still with
All
us,
right,
be
mate.
sure to
All
like
right,
and
mate.
subscribe.
All right, mate. Let's do this.
Yeah, there you go.
You
You could just be American.
I'm
gonna be going
gonna
off like a
be
frog in a sock.
I'm gonna be Polish because this one is about being from.
We
Pol-
can't
Oh,
talk
hey,
about
man,
that.
hey,
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 hey.
we're about to start hiking.
Okay, we hike.
Thanks for carrying my poles for me, Paul. My feet go back and forth like this.
Yeah, I was very happy to do it. I carried it for the last 40 cubits, which is the size of one side of the temple.
The temple has lots of big purple cloths on it.
Yes, this is very good. Yes, purple is the color of royalty. When do we say our line? Oh, okay. We just work. All right. Yeah, so good.
Does anybody know what day it is?
Down under, it's Tuesday, but I don't know what is it here.
Oh, happy
also-
Father's Day, Grant. God bless you.
Oh, it's Father's Day, is it?
It is, Grant.
I can't do Thursday. I have a dinner to attend.
Sorry to miss you next week. Maybe I'll catch you before we go to Poland.
Sehr gut, ja. This is very good.
Have you done yours?
I said one.
I don't know. It's windy up here.
The rules for this game were quite loose.
Very strange. Very strange temple game.
We'll try it again sometime. Did you say yours?
I'm trying to stop laughing long enough.
Grant, what say ye?
Yes, we are very high up. I feel like a tall Dutch person. What is this altitude?
I now have lost my accent.
Ja, Entschuldigung.
Hey, I'll
That's
skip.
because we're so high up here.
Hey, I'll skip lunch today.
That's good, ja. Watch the carbs.
Rationing is helpful for the crew.
We'll get up there faster.
We don't want to turn into the Dahmers.
Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yeah. Sorry, it took it dark.
Okay.
America
took a turn.
scowling at me.
Scene.
Oh, good. That was such a good one.
Conceptually, it was on.
Yeah,
My setup wasn't that great. I think I could have given the rules better, but certainly.
I've got a. We can bring this back in a few episodes. I've got a way to like tweak it, make it a little bit more.
Yeah, like knowing what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the boldness, though.
Yeah, it was holy boldness. Mitch, last words for this Monday episode.
It's never gone like that before. I promise.
That game, you play it every week. I've been listening. You've never played the grab the catechism and talk about the temple game from your phone. But that was fun.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
We'll be talking about Father's Day on the next show, on the bonus show of the BeatiDudes.
Right on.
Yeah, with you. Leonine Forum.
LeonineForum.org.
CICDEC.org. Lucid Private Offices.
.com.
The BeatiDudes.
.com.
See you on the internet. For the rest of you, we will.
See you in the Eucharist.
.com.
Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to join us at our undersized table, subscribe to the video version of the show on YouTube by typing @ that's the symbol @, so shift and 2 on your keyboard, @ the _ BeatiDudes on YouTube. We'll see you there.